5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hit it.
Here and sing two verses of a Johnny Cash song. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the desert, bare man. I've been mountain air, man. Travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. You're doing pretty good, huh? I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, Oklahoma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Topeka, Armadillo, Abigail. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. Breathe the mountain air, man. Travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Think he's got one more verse in him? I've been to Boston, Charleston, Dayton, Louisiana, Washington, Houston, Kingston, Texarkana, Monterey, Fairbanks, Santa Fe, Paula,
Oh, God. JP is great with the escapers. And hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Grace. And together.
And who else do we have here?
I'm Ford Man, aka Kenneth Oaks.
Yeah, and together the three of us, or two of the three of us, and that ain't bad, is California Travel Videos. So welcome, everybody. And Kenny, our moderator, is joining us. And Sue, if you want to come, Miss Lucky Dog herself, our production manager, you're always welcome to jump aboard as we get this fine show started. We've got a funny show today. And before we get started, though, Kenny, our special guest, is so great to have you up here. And we were talking a little bit down in the green room below about what is going to be happening in January for some of the boys and girls that say, oh, Delta, COVID, Corona. I thought that was a beer anyway. Omicron. Some people are still saying, I'm going to go. We're on the fence. But so, Kenny, tell us about your plan. This is exciting.
Well, my plan is that I'm going to be going to Quartzsite in January, starting January 17th and leaving out on the 25th of January.
Wow.
So I'll be there.
Wow.
I will be there 8 days. So
now, now, I guess you're going to take a plane, or are you going to take a parachute and jump off, or where will you arrive?
I'm actually going to be taking a plane, actually.
Southwest Airlines?
My very first time ever flying in 27 years of life.
Really?
You deserve a break today. Good for you, Kenny.
And what lucky airline have you chosen?
American Airlines.
The only way to fly.
You'll enjoy them. Yes, indeed.
That was the cheapest one I could come up with. So,
what city will they take you into?
Well,
Phoenix?
I actually go to Charlotte. I have to go to Charlotte to catch the flight. But my plan is that I'm actually going to go down on the 16th into Charlotte, stay in a hotel that night, and then that way the next morning when I get up on the 17th, all I'll have to do is go to the airport from the hotel. So my flight's not until like 1:09 p.m. in the afternoon. And so and then I will arrive in Phoenix at 3:58 p.m. So it'll be about 4 o'clock.
Okay,
and then you're going to be going
to Blythe.
I'll be going from Phoenix to Blythe to check in the hotel. They told me that I had to check in the hotel anytime after 3 o'clock. The hotel is called the hotel that I'm staying at is called the Travel Lodge Inn.
Mm-hmm. Well, you'll find that at Blythe, unlike sometimes in Quartzsite, you've got good cell reception in Blythe, depending on which carrier, AT&T, Verizon, whomever, T-Mobile. So that'll be good. And there is a river runs through it. There's a river there in the town. Grace and I have stayed at the RV park there. And so it's about a half hour or a little less than 30 miles to get to quartzite. When you get to the town, you'll be going north or south probably to the different BLM, Bureau of Land Management properties. But let's talk some more about that. But let's go ahead and welcome some people. Amy was here first. Hello. Seagirl. And speaking of which, look what I'm wearing today. Regent 7C Cruises from when I was a guest lecturer. And when we accompanied my mother, I had proposed to this lovely lady. And fortunately, she accepted. You remember that, honey?
I do remember that. It was only like 6 years ago.
I know. Boy, time flies when you're having fun. And let's see. We have somebody I spoke to just before the call who's interested in e-bikes. Gracie Seeks Adventures. Aloha to our northern friend in Oregon. So who else do we have here coming down? Scrolling.
Tim and Red and Sue and Luz.
Paula was next up.
Paula.
And Stacy. Tim, howdy there. Good to see you as always. Hoping to see you sometime soon. And She Devil Adventures, a glow raid. I love everybody's different logos. Look at that one. Isn't that one great? And all of a sudden it got changed. Who changed it?
Lillian is here. I wish I could do an accent for you, Lillian.
We can do some accents.
Hello, Lillian.
We will try. What kind of accent do they want? We'll try one. You tell us what you want and we'll whip it up. Sometimes after we have a couple libations, our accents get better a little bit. I'm just saying, maybe they don't. We just think they get better.
We think they do.
And let's see, going down, scrolling. And Sue, of course, Miss Lucky Dog Productions herself. And thank you, as always, for being here. I hope you had a good time. And everybody else at Thanksgiving. I know she was busy last week. And as you recall, for those of you who were last week, it was my birthday week. And I think I had 4 or 5 different days, a progressive birthday, which is my favorite time. And some years I'm a turkey on the 22nd. This year I was not a true turkey, but I ate a lot of it. We had a good time, didn't we, Grace?
So you've been challenged to do a Scottish accent.
A Scottish accent? Okay. It kind of sounds a little bit like my British accents, but I'll try to make just a little bit difference. I should spend more time with Kevin, I do believe, but I'm going to give it. If I have some scotch, because I know that's what Kevin likes to drink, is a lot of scotch when he can afford it. But we do sometimes have to be on a budget. So we have Red, the redheaded Red. Can you roll your R's like that, Kenny? Can you roll your R's? Red?
Red?
Yeah, you did it. Grace, how about you? Red. Roll that tongue. It's funny. We had Mizuki, a foreign exchange student, stay with us for more months than we thought she was on behalf of the Rotary when we have foreign exchange students. And they don't say the R's. That's why Tim has more bang for your buck. The Asians don't do the R's. So I kept thinking about it. I think we put the tongue on the top of the roof of our mouth, and they just don't put their tongue there. So there's some things that the Asians don't do with their tongues. And don't judge me. I'm not meaning it. I didn't say Oriental. I'm trying to do good. But there's a lot of things we can't pronounce either.
Gracie has a challenge for Oregon 2022, which we've got our reservation.
Lost Lake, we're coming.
Yeah, if you want to see about the meetup in 022, hit up Gracie Seeking Adventures and she can give you more details. But she says that's a great idea for Oregon 22. After libations, let's all talk accent.
We will. And I see Nikki Page is with us. Thank you, Nikki. Another one of the Glow Adventures. So they're hoping you had a good Wednesday. So I wouldn't miss it. We always, that last hour you're kind of fiddling around. Those of you who like Paula and Tim and many of the rest of you there that do your live streams. Kenny, he does it so often. Kenny, you don't even have to think about a live stream. They just happen, don't they?
So
and Red's getting that way too.
Imagine what kind of accent will come after him. Will come out of him after a few drinks. English.
Yeah. English. That's right. If we can, we're not even very good at that one. because sometimes words are hard. And Paula says 2.5 hours about when it's, and who keeps pushing that button, Grace? You keep pushing the button when I push the button. Come on. You got to give me 5 seconds before you change it on me. Paula, it says 2.5 hours. So I think she's up next. And I think you said that I guess somebody else after us has got time off for good behavior, don't they? Gina, I don't think she has one today. At least that's what we've been hearing.
Yeah, I have not seen anything. And then an update on Captain Jack. Sue said that he's been having some internet issues. And as of late, he may be also having some health issues. So nonetheless, we always want to keep Captain Jack Scrapper in our prayers and our thoughts. And if you get an opportunity, be sure to check him out.
Yeah, that's right. You might still be having some of his regular, if not live streams, that he can still go ahead and pump up there. And we'll hope it's not how can I say this? His heart is not connected directly to the internet, because sometimes his cell service is, well, we all know that from time to time. Sometimes some places are less geographically desirable than others, but they're usually great places to live. And I think he's got a wonderful spot where he's at. And thank you, Paula, for the thumbs up. I do appreciate that. Yes, we don't get around to saying that enough. You know, Paula's been doing this so long and so well with so little. Now she can do anything with nothing, and just it's automatic for her. So thank you for that very much. And anything else scrolling down? We want to get on to the show. I know you got it. I can't wait to get some of what we're going to do is we're going to ask for states that you want us to tell the funny cities. And a lot of these, well, I got them from maybe a half a dozen or more sources, and some we know and some you'll know. I hope you'll add in yourself and your state. And how can I say this? Some of them are
risque.
Double entendres, I guess, but that's what was in the Wikipedia, and we'll mention that page if you want to kind of look at them. Maybe you can even follow along with us and come some of your own. So we're going to have a good time with that, and it's going to be kind of a fun night. And so if you've got your libations and you want to get started, Grace, we should probably have had some out ourselves, or maybe we shouldn't. I don't know. I'm just not sure about that.
I do have a topic pinned to the very top tonight, saying that some of this content may not be appropriate for a younger audience. And not that, we're making any of this stuff up. These are actual city names. However, some of these city names could promote other conversations.
A play on words, I guess you might say. We're not going to try to be vulgar at all, but some of these are, very suggestive. And if you've got a clean mind, you'll say, I don't know what that means. And that'll be just fine. We'll pretend like we don't either. And loves you. That would be a good one. That would make a great name for a city, wouldn't it? Oops, there it is.
Mm-hmm. It would.
So that's a nice one. So I think we're getting through most of them. And so do you think we should, I'm going to try to wrap it up here quickly. Do you think we should go ahead and let her rip, or do we have any? There's so many. Thank you all for being there. Oh, Diane is always love it when you can make it here. Thank you. And
I see Lance.
Lillian is here. Title. I thought it was like turtle, but Lillian, good to have you here. And I think we're gonna probably get cranking up. Are we ready?
So
I see somebody says Lance, so I don't know if Lance is with us here, but Lance, if you are
Lance is here. I see Lance.
Oh, I didn't see that. Our northern friend. Oh, there is boondocking with Mr. Boomer and his father. Mm-hmm. Good to see you, Lance.
Kenneth get this party started. And Kenneth, either give us your state or give us a state that you want to know some interesting names.
Pick a state.
Well, I know Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
I learned this off of another channel. They were talking about Blue Balls, Pennsylvania, and I had no idea that was even a city. But that is actually in Pennsylvania.
I believe it's very close to Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there's a city called Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Here it comes. Yeah. Intercourse, Pennsylvania, an excellent honeymoon location. and come again and again for anniversaries. You can take whatever you want out of that. Plus, it's only 20 miles from nearby Blue Ball. A lot of people call it Blue Balls. So that's fine for you single guys. So that would be one that, yeah, a lot of people make a big to do. Initially, you know, back in the 1800s, it was to have a discourse of communications. And a lot of people these days think of it having a different one. And so we're going to go right to the second one. Are we ready, Grace? You want to do it or you want me to? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to pick one, a city?
Oh, no, we're just going to run right down the order. If you have the listing, then I'll just go ahead and pop it on the screen. Do you want to say what it is? Begins with a D?
Begins with
I'll pop it up.
Oh, okay.
I'll pop it up there. Here it comes. What's the second one on the screen?
Desire.
Desire, Pennsylvania. What a nice name. And with the first being intercourse, we can see why it's there. And Kenny, the third one, I don't know if you're going to want to say this one or not, but it's actually a name of a city. And some people who have those kind of minds, they think differently. It's Woodcock, Pennsylvania. And what is it? What do we say about Woodcock, Pennsylvania? Go ahead.
It is the name of a bird, or it is a
decoy to replace. Well, never mind. What would a woodcock replace? Anyway, so that's one that was like, yeah, I guess some of these in the state, like woodcock. I mean, like, really? Okay, here's one that's a little nicer. I'll do the next one.
Let me add, Diane adds, in Pennsylvania, there's also Nazareth in Bethlehem.
Yes, that is true. There are a lot of places there that do have, and we're going to have some of those that do have religious connotations, which is really great. So next one is Bird in the Hand, Pennsylvania, because no one wants two in the bush, right? You're always better with a bird in the hand. But there's a city called Bird of the Hand, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure what that's all about, but okay, Grace, I'm going to give you Slippery Rock's going to come up next. Are you ready for it, Grace?
Slippery Rock,
here in just a second.
Slippery what?
This will be Slippery Rock. Go ahead and read it out.
Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. That's hard to say, actually. Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. So it is slippery politicians, but hope they don't teach slippery car salesmanship or slippery lawyers. Slippery Rock.
Slippery Dickory Rock.
Okay, I've got one for you, Michael.
Okay.
Let me give you a little bit of a clue.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Oh, honey. Whoa. Big Bertha. We'll get to that one later. That's you stuck that in on us, and I haven't seen that one. So who does the next one? I think this is yours. Oh, no, I think this is Kenny's.
Moon, Pennsylvania, maybe where folks moon one another.
There might be
some people.
Full moons.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, we are now going to go for Grace. I'm going to let you do Keisterville. Are you ready?
Okay, Keisterville.
Come on, Keisterville.
Keisterville, Pennsylvania, where they kick you in the keister.
Have you ever heard that, getting kicked in the keister?
I've been kicked in the keister.
You can.
I feel like it anyway. That's what fibromyalgia is. You get kicked in the keister, then you get kicked everywhere else.
Kenny, this one's for you. Jersey Shore.
Pennsylvania. Nope, it's really 150 miles away from the real Jersey Shore.
What's up with that? I mean, they say it's Jersey Shore. You were going to go to the shores. You never quite made it there, but yeah, you got to be careful with some of these names of the towns because it may not be where you think it is.
So,
okay.
Wait, I just saw something. Let me get that real quick. Paula says climax second one, two.
Oh gosh, Paula, there were some really good ones there, and there is a Climax, Minnesota. We'll get to later if somebody asks for that state. But some of the ones you've got up there in Canada, I tried to confine it to the United States, but you've got some doozies, girl. Okay, the next one we have is, believe it or not, Ketchup Town. Ketchup Town's. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, we're in
Well,
South
I
Carolina.
guess. Yeah, I forgot that the next one in the list,
Rewind.
it turns out, was the letter S, SC for South Carolina. So I'll do that one, although I didn't mean to go into that. So it's gone. So which state do we want to do next? I hear see
Lillian
Oregon
would like to see Oregon, but before we go there, I want to say, Michael, that I found the perfect property for us. Michael and I are thinking about downsizing. So I actually found a house. It's 2,000 square foot, 3 bedrooms, family room, living room, formal dining room. Yes, that's downsizing. And it's within our price range. There's property. There's 3-car garage. However, it is in Boring, Oregon.
Oh, speaking of Oregon, it's in the city of Boring?
Yeah, it's in Boring, Oregon.
Let's take a look at that on the map. Oregon. Oops, I got to go first to put the city. Boring. Boring space and I think there it is. So I need to change my map here. And I probably need to scroll out. Oh, this is, it's taking quite a few finger strokes. Actually, I didn't realize it was that close to a city that many of you know. And I'll bet you, Gracie, I'll bet you know where it is already, but I'm going to go to my other screen here if I can figure this out. And this is the laptop screen and get my big head out of the way. And there it is. Grace, would you put me on the solo screen? Thank you. And where I've got the mouse going right there, it says that is Boring. Not really, hopefully. But if I scroll out just a little bit, you'll see that there it is. It's right on the southeast side of Portland is where it's at. So anywho.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I'll bet. Portland's a lovely city. Although, for those of you who haven't been there, when they have truly a sunny day, I mean, like, they have good visibility, of course. But you hear on the radio, they say, be careful. It's road glare day. It's just a regular day. Get your sunglasses on. No, be careful. It's road glare because they don't get a lot of sun up there. Well, they get a moderate amount, but we can tease about that a little bit. But okay, so we're going to go to Oregon. And Grace, thank you for that one. The first one in Oregon, I don't know who I should make do this one, but I think Kenny, sorry, I'm going to have you do this one. Okay, it's coming up. And where is it?
I just had it.
Honey, please don't click because I'm clicking. Please. Go ahead. Kenny, do it.
Poop Creek, Oregon? Apparently down Poo Point. Washington?
Washington. Yeah, there's a Poo Point, Washington. Washington's got a lot of Lulus. I didn't mean that. But yeah, Poop Creek, Oregon. I thought, who comes up with these names?
Poop Creek.
Here's one for Grace. Grace likes to kayak. We got a kayak. So Grace, this one's going to be for you. And I'm going to click it once, so you don't need to click two. Okay, Grace, go for it.
Zigzag River. Probably not the best place to learn kayaking.
Zigzag. Yeah, a lot of people think of zigzag papers when they think of that one. Okay, the next one is going to be like a really kind of like, what's up with this? Aloha, Oregon. Aloha. Must have had somebody there has Hawaii on their mind. Maybe they came from there, but why would you have an Aloha, Oregon? Anyway, it's a nice name, isn't it?
Paula says, don't travel Poop Creek without a paddle.
Yeah, I do have some of them with broken paddles. I do. You'll see some of those coming up. That's whoever said that. We're thinking alike.
That was Paula.
Okay. Good, Paula. You and I agreed. Who clicked? Grace, are you clicking still?
What? It's right there, honey.
My wife has got it. She's got a clicky finger. I'm going to have to get some duct tape on it. Because if you can't duck it, I know we're going to go there. Who wants to do Idiotville?
Why don't you do Idiotville, honey?
Okay, Idiotville, Oregon. With a name like that, it soon became a ghost town. But the city, the river, Idiot River, still remains. So some of these, it's like, yeah, it didn't do too well. I mean, with a name like Idiotville, who wants to live there? Where do you live? I live in Idiotville. Oh, I see. Some of these names, you got to wonder. This one here is Grace. I'm going to make you do, since you made me do one.
Are you on Clicking Grounds or am I?
I'm gonna click this one, please.
Okay.
Okay, you do it, sweetheart.
Wankers Corner, Oregon. Wankers. Must be a good place for the wankers to hang out. I don't know. That sounds like a code violation of some type. That's code.
Just saying.
Code 386 over on Wankers Corner. Hello.
Yeah, on Wankers Corner, a 386 code. Bring them into the station. Okay, since we're on that, Kenny, we're going to have you do this one. It's going to be on the same genre. I don't know where they come up with these. People have a good sense of humor. Kenny, this is yours.
Whiskey Dick, Oregon. Here we go again.
Like wanker. Yeah, it's like, well, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Grace, you would like Whiskey Dick. I mean,
your favorite things.
You are what you drink, darling. You are what you drink. Okay. Who's going to dare do Shitten Creek?
You just did it.
Okay, Shitten Creek, Oregon. Excuse me. It's S-H-I. I don't know. Maybe they pronounce it a different way. I apologize. It's just the name of the place. Be really careful not to break your canoe oars here, as somebody said earlier. We were on the same mind as Paula. And that ends up Oregon. There, some of those were kind of a little spicy, a little racy. What state does somebody want to do next?
Okay, how about it? We got another state out there that somebody wants to. Well, let's go ahead and Lillian says, "Holy cow! Seriously, I haven't seen a holy cow yet, though."
You know, that's interesting. You mentioned. I'm trying to think if we have some with cow. We have a lot with animals. I don't know if we have one with cows, but I'm going to search for the word cow, C-O-W, and I have no matches. No, we have none of them with holy cow. I like holy cow, though.
I'm scrolling up because we did get a request earlier for New York. So let me see.
Okay, I will do that, but let me just do the Idaho because New York's going to take a while, and we'll do the Idaho. I see some of those, and then we're going to get right back to New York. Okay, the letter I. I'm in the M's. You know, some of these letters like T's and M and N's are big. And we have the ID for ID. There we go. Oh, well, really? Okay, you asked for it. Here's one in Idaho. I swear these are actual cities. Okay, Grace, you get to do this one.
Slick Poo?
Slick Poo, Idaho, yeah.
I went on the steps and I slipped on the Slick Poo in Slick Poo.
Yeah. Well, the person's name was Josiah Slick Poo, so I guess they said they felt sorry for him, and they'll, okay, if that's what you want for the name of the city, fine. And so here's something some of the people I'm sure felt about Idaho. So, Kenny, you do this one.
Hang on a second. Gross.
On the screen. Gross, Idaho. Yeah. When you heard about Slick Poo, you probably said, oh, that's kind of gross. Hey, artsy dude.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Anthony? Good to see you today.
Hello, artsy dude.
And here's one, Grace. I know you like to tell your song about Lorena Bobbitt, so I'm going to make you do this one. We won't have her sing it. It's like definitely not. Oops, here we go. Grace, what's this place in Idaho?
Listen to my story about a man named Jed, a poor ex-Marine with his milligan. Seems one night he was fighting with the wife. She chopped off his with the slice of a knife. Anyway, this is Dick Shooter, Idaho.
Dick Shooter.
Ouch.
Ouch.
That would be painful.
That would be painful.
By the way, I just watched a video because some of them we watch on self-defense. And, you know, if you have a concealed weapon, a lot of people will put them on the 3 o'clock position on your side, some 4 o'clock, a little bit behind. Some people have them, it's called an appendix carry. It's right in the front. And yeah, that would be an appropriate name if you have your weapon and
Gracie wants to know
hit
where
the trigger before you pull it out.
Gracie
What's
wants to know where she can shoot dicks. I mean, she wants to know where Dick Shooter is.
Well, I'm glad you asked then. Let's see if I can find it on the map. Dickhooter, Idaho. And here it comes. Oh, sorry, didn't mean it that way. Okay, I'm going to go over to my other map here, and I'm going to get myself down in a little part of the screen. Grace, have it. Give me the full screen, please. Okay, and here it is, Dick Shooter, and it doesn't look like it's a very big city, but let's go ahead and scroll out. It's right in the middle of the screen.
I can't imagine what my Google ads are going to say tomorrow.
I know, right. It's between Cliffs and Grassmere. I'm going to pull out just a little bit more, excuse the pun. Okay, there's Twin Falls. So it's Twin Falls. You want to be heading right towards your way there, Gracie, towards Oregon is where it's at. So it's a small city, if you pardon the expression.
Said she Googled it, and it's Southwest Idaho. It figures.
Yes. So we try to make all these real cities, so, you know, for better or worse, richer and poor. So we're going to go to New York, New York. There's so many songs about New York. And we have a lot of places in New York. And New York is, well, some of the southern states, I've got to say, they are very creative. And some kind of like, what? You would name a city that? But New York has some of these. So we're going to start off with, you know, some people think the people in New York are, you know, a New York City Minute. You know, you heard about that one. They're kind of like quick on their feet, you know, want to get things done, chop, chop, chop. So I'll do this one. Dicktown, New York. We have heard that about some places in New York.
Hi, where are you
But let's
from?
go. Yeah, I am from Dicktown.
Dicktown.
There's a lot of, in the military, sometimes the drill sergeants, when they would want to get your attention, all you swinging Richards, come on up here. And I'm saying swinging Richards. Oh, I get it. Swinging Richard, another word for Richard. I get it. Those dirty drill sergeants. Okay, the next one is... okay, there's also in Gayville, New York, in South Dakota also. So that's an interesting place to call home.
So Diane says in Rose, New York, you can go to the intersection of Lover's Land and Gobbler's Knob. I love upstate New York. That's
yeah.
Part of my heart is in upstate New York. That's where my grandma lived, and that's where my family's been since the 1700s.
Up there in Grace's neck of the woods, up there by the Finger Lakes.
The Finger Lakes.
Okay, who wants to do the next one? Kenny, you can do this one.
Gayville, New York, South Dakota.
New York, and also there's one in South Dakota. And what did they say?
Don't worry, be happy.
Be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Wasn't
this one for red.
Something gay in Tennessee? Gaylord?
Yeah, there are lots of Gaylords. Okay, this one, Grace, is for you. We're going to commemorate this one to red.
Red House, New York. Population 38. Not so famous to be the least populous town in the state. Maybe need red sports cards or red light district or Little Red Riding Hood.
Riding Hood, you sure are looking good. And here Karen says, we have a gay Mills in Wisconsin. That's nice. We love Wisconsin. And Wisconsin, I wonder Karen, why don't you see if you know the answer to this? What do they call a drinking fountain affectionately in Wisconsin?
A drinking
They don't call
fountain?
it a drinking fountain. They have another word for it. It's one word, begins with a B, and see if you know what they call it. We'll come back to that in a moment. But next, we're going to do, I think, Grace, you should do this one.
Why me?
Just because.
Nipple Top, New York. Stay away and don't stare. I don't know what I'm reading because these are Michael's comments on it. So stay away and don't stare because Essex County has the largest protected area in the lower 48 states. And I don't know what that means.
Protected area. I mean, like there's some up in Alaska, but I mean, where you can't walk in a lot of places, you can't do anything, there's no hunting or things like that. They are protected. I think that's pretty interesting that I didn't know that nipple top area in that Essex County is, in fact, take a look at up in Maine. Remember when we went to the national park there, Acadia?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of those places were because they didn't want it to be all the trees all to be chopped down.
Well, we've got a few of those here in California.
Kenny, I want you to think about Disneyland. Tell us about this one.
Dumbo, New York, neighborhood borough in Brooklyn. Some must believe they can fly.
Dumbo,
I remember
New
Dumbo
York.
the movie. Good.
I know a few people
and to
that
Karen.
might be from there.
Yeah, for Karen.
Oh, nailed it!
A bubbler, a drinking fountain in that state. For some reason, they call them a bubbler, and they don't drink Coke. They drink soda pop. I know. I have relatives that live there. Soda pop. Yeah. If you've got some other ones you want to share, Karen, it's like, or some of you also, when you get to these states, this one here, I don't know if it has anything to do with Donald Duck. Oh, are we going to talk about the Tetons? Yeah, Red. If we get to that state on Montana, we will have to talk about the Tetons.
Montana?
Very good, Red.
No,
you're a step ahead.
It's Idaho on one side, and it's not Montana on the other side. That's Yellowstone.
Okay. I thought it was. So, at any rate, oh yeah, there you go. It's not pronounced Kissimmee either. But let's go to a little bit more here. Looneyville, New York, also in West Virginia and in Texas. Call them funny, silly, or dumb. It seems Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck do get around, don't they? Looneyville. Who can do a Donald Duck? Grace,
Not me.
I'm going to try. M-I-C-K-E-Y. Oh, that was Donald Duck.
Pretty good.
I can't do that one very well. Okay, we're going to be going to,
California.
heads. Well, no, we got to finish this state. Although it's a big one, so maybe I shouldn't. But heads I win, tails you lose. I know if you ever heard that one. How about this city? Kenny, I'll let you do this one.
Horseheads, New York, but
yes.
But are there donkey tails too?
So
yeah, if there's horse heads, shouldn't there be donkey tails?
I have some thoughts on that.
Okay.
I believe that perhaps the Godfather lives there.
Oh, wow. That's kind of scary. That was a very good movie, though. Got a lot of acclaim. And Amy, yes, we will do Texas or Missouri. Your choice next.
Texas.
Absolutely. Here's one that I'm going to let Grace do because she should know about the derivation of this name. For those of you that see kill in a city, what does kill mean, Grace? Here it comes.
God,
I think you clicked it when I did.
Oh, God.
Oh, here, take a look at it'll show it there. It gives you a hint. Fish kill. What does it say about fish kill?
Oh, that's a stream.
Yes, it's a stream.
Yeah, because
some
there
people
was a
call
lot
them
of
in
that.
this.
Remember when we went through upstate New York, we even looked it up and we Google searched it because so many things had the name Kill in it.
That was how we learned it, didn't we?
That is true.
Wikipedia is our friend. Okay, and we have Makeup Mom and Son. Thank you for coming over. It's so great to have you here today. And the next one up is Florida, New York. Must be the snowbirds returning in the spring. I mean, why in New York would they call a place Florida?
I don't know.
But some of them.
My grandmother and grandfather lived in upstate New York, and they had a house also in Florida that they would go to every winter. But now I'm starting to wonder if maybe they just went to Florida and New York.
Yeah, maybe you thought they went to the other. And speaking of which, Amy, you wanted to have Texas. Well, look at this. Who wants to do this one? Grace, you want to do it?
Texas, New York.
Like, huh? You going to read it?
Apparently because they couldn't resist after Texans named one of their cities New York, Texas.
I mean, that's kind of too much. It's like,
isn't there also San Francisco, Texas? I'm positive there is. Or if it's not San Francisco, it's Francisco.
I didn't know.
San Francisco, though.
I don't think I came up with that one. Okay, I think we're getting towards the end of them, although I'm sure some of them aren't going to be as clean as others. So, Fishkill, New York. This is where my ex lived before his family moved to Boca Raton, which, by the way, means a rat's mouth. Sorry. Here, I got one for you.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Sounds just like my daughter Jenny when I heard that voice. Okay, next one is Grace. You are a button clicker. She can't help herself. Do it.
Lilydale, New York, full of somebody.
Psychics.
Psychics. Oh, okay. So that's the one Michael put down, that they have a lot of psychics in Lilydale, New York. But I know, and I can't remember the name of the town right now, but in the Finger Lakes region, not too far from Moravia, Freeville, that's the name of it. The psychics up there go way back, and that's where John Edwards' family's from.
Wow. Yeah, there must be a lot of psychics around. But now we're going to go to Never Sink.
That's one for
Never Sink, New York, an old town that is now 175 feet underwater. Never Sink. Well, they tried, but their name didn't stick. Relocated in the 1950s. Oh, so that's why it's Never Sink, I guess. It's near Bittersweet, but that's gone underwater, gone forever. But not until the year 2015 did Never Sink permit the consumption of alcohol, booze, and still it's only allowed in the restaurants. It's dry in the sense of their humor, I would say.
Okay.
In fact, Grace and I, when we went to Zion, is where we found out that in Utah, man, you can't get much liquor in that state unless you go to the state store.
I'm confused because you said Never Sink has sank. So what restaurants do they have?
Well, one is in the sense of water, but then the Never Sink, when they moved it, with the prohibitions in the 1920s, they said, we're going to keep that in our state, not in our state, in that city, because New York, believe me, they drink. But until like 5 years ago, they didn't allow any alcohol to be sold in the city. And now they only allow it in restaurants. You can't get it at like bars or grocery stores or that sort of thing. Can't do it. So much there. So, okay, I guess we're going to go to Texas, where Amy suggested. And do you know anything about Texas, Kenny?
No, not really.
Okay.
I know my cousin has family that lives in Longview, Texas.
Oh, Longview. Okay. Yeah. Cool place. Yeah. I was just talking to somebody about Texas today. And Grace, I'll let you do this one.
The Colony, Texas, because some proud Texas in Frisco wanted to de-annex their district of 43,000 in 1977. and have their own kinship vibe with views of Louisville Lake. So you can explain the detail because.
Yeah, so I didn't realize there was a Frisco. When I lived up in northern part of California and my father would say something about going to Frisco, I was like, so I thought I'd name my dog Frisco. I've had 2 dogs that have been named Frisco. So anyway, there's a Texas city called Frisco, but they didn't want to be part of the greater area. So they said, no, we're not going to be in that city limits. We want to be our own little community. We want to be called the Colony. And so I guess they liked the idea of a kinship in their own community. So they withdrew from the city and they had their own city. Anyway, they got a wonderful view, I guess, of Louisville Lake. So you know how Texans are. They can be proud sometimes. And they probably feel like they have a lot to because they have a big state, don't they? Okay, Kenny, this one's for you. Speaking of religious cities, it was brought up earlier. Are you ready, Kenny? Here it comes. There it is.
Texas ought to have lots of churches and get big collections.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Yeah. If you've
Blessings.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Blessings. Give me blessings. Thank you for the blessings. And be sure to fill up the collection basket. Thank you very much. Give us our 10% tithings. And I'll do the next one. It's an easy one. It is not coming up. There it is. Cut and Shoot, Texas. Can't remember exactly where it came from, but something about cutting and shooting. There, I won't put these up on the screen. There's a Cool, Texas, a China, Texas.
I have
and
one
this
from
one
Texas.
I thought, okay, go ahead, Grace. I liked it. What was it from?
Ding dong.
Oh, Ding Dong. Yes, we didn't get to Ding Dong yet, but go ahead. You tell us about Ding Dong.
It's in Texas.
Yeah, it's named after a general store painter, and one of the neighboring paint stores saw that the names of the 2 guys, Bert and Zulus, Bell was their last name. He says, put 2 bells under their name, and that was where they came up with this city, because it was somebody put 2 bells under it, became known as Ding Dong, and it stuck. But here's one. Kenny, do this one for us.
Dish, Texas satellite company gave all free TV to change city name from Clark.
How about that?
So what's going to happen when Comcast or Cox, if Cox Cable buys it, will it be Cox, Texas?
Well, in fact, that's the good thing, because as I looked it up on Wikipedia, it says, why do they still have it named Dish when a lot of people don't use Dish anymore? Everyone's doing streaming these days, now that you have better wireless connectivity. So I don't know. In fact, there's one in Florida. If we get to it today, I don't know, but it was named Mayo. And then somebody bought the name Miracle Whip for a year. So it's sort of like some of these sporting teams. Okay, so Grace, why don't you help us with Good Night?
Good night, sweetheart. Good night, Texas. Namesake by banner with hometowns in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and San Francisco, California. What? What's San Francisco, California? Good night?
It's midway in between those 2 cities. It's 1,415 miles from either one of them, I guess. So anyway, it was kind of interesting. I thought that, and if you were to search for Goodnight, Texas, there is a really cool band that meets there. And so it's got quite of a legacy. You think, okay, from those cities, I never would have guessed, but some of these cities, the derivation of where they are. But anyway, here's one of the cities is called California. You're a hole in my heart. And in fact, believe it or not, there was a film, Happy Texas, that wasn't actually filmed there at all. It was in Piru, Piru, California, just north of Los Angeles. So yeah, there is actually a film with that name.
So
there's a Looneyville, Texas. Amy, go ahead.
And Red is adding to your list that keeps you up late at night. Where's Lock and Load? Is that in
Yeah,
Texas?
I saw that. I don't know if there is, but I guess kind of what we were talking about before, cut and shoot. There should be a lock and load. I think, who knows? But this one, since you ask, Red, yeah, this one's going to be like, who comes up with the name of these cities in Texas? Some of them is like, I don't know if they're imaginative or not, but Grace, you're clicking.
I didn't click
My
anything.
large
I'm not even
intestine.
there.
Okay, my large intestine, Texas.
Wow.
What do you think about that one? Kenny, here's one for you. This does not represent you, but it's kind of a cute one because you've already got everything you need. But tell us about this one.
Need more, Texas?
Yeah, that's kind of a nice name, isn't it?
Yeah.
For Grace. What about this one?
Faith, Texas. So Red says, let's hear the stories of how they got their funny names, Michael.
Oh, okay. I'll try to do on some of these. Obviously, that's a religious one there. And this next one, let's see if I've got some. Ooh, Jolly Texas. Tata. Jolly that good chap. I think this is probably a British name. I think that probably Kevin, Mr. Nomak himself, with Bella and Barrett would probably agree that it is Jolly. Although when you go down to Quartzsite, you know what you're going to find there, Kenny? Remember Jolly, right?
Jolly.
Huh, I just thought of that.
No, it's what is it? It's Jolly something.
Yes, it's Jolly. It's not Rogers, but I can't think of what it is. Jolly. Somebody look it up and tell us what it is in Quartzsite. I'll tell you the story about the person. The person back in, I think it was after World War I, thought, over the Middle East, they have camels. So, we ought to try doing camels. The U.S. Army thought, we might do that, Jolly. And so he did some experimenting, because, they can be in the desert, don't need a lot of water. I could tell you some camel jokes, but I would get kicked off the air. But right. So, there is a Jolly. I can't tell the rest of his name. What's that?
Hi, Jolly.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. Good
Jolly
job.
Monument, Quartzsite, Arizona.
Good call, Grace.
And it's a cemetery as well.
Yes, it's a cool place. Okay, Kenny, this one's for you.
Sugarland, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Dentist make a fortune.
Oh, it should say must make. I apologize. My typo.
Must make a fortune here.
Yeah, dentists like you to eat sugar, don't they?
Yeah.
And Red's got something there. Jolly was a man that backed me in at the KOA in Pigeon Forge. Yeah, I did see that on the map. Right into my neighbor's. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear it. That's where it was. Yeah, so, and by the way, I should let Red, well, maybe if we have time later, we can, we're going to run out of time quickly, but yeah, if you ever let somebody back you in the spot or you help somebody else back in the spot, you're bound to have trouble. I know that we want to be nice and helpful, but are you willing to take responsibility? If there's like a big tree limb, you were watching the sides, but it was like 11 foot tall and they just had like $5,800 or more of damage. It's just like, you ought not to do that. In fact, Endless RVing, they had a video on this recently about some of the problems with that. And here we go. Gracie's good on this. Conversion of the U.S. Cavalry Forces contracted by Jolly to become one of the first raiders, Experimental Army Camel Corps. Excellent. You nailed it. Where's that?
It has been nailed.
It has been nailed.
If we're done with Texas, can we go ahead and visit?
Oh, no, this will be another 3 hours, honey. No, we're getting close, but let's do a couple. This one you can do, sweetheart, because having worked for the telephone company.
Telephone, Texas. Hello. Anybody home?
Lily Tomlin,
Because
yes,
when
go
you're
ahead.
the first to own something cool in a Texas town, you damn well want to brag about it, right? Truthfully,
You said that so
another
well.
city whose new post office names kept getting rejected.
Very well said. Okay, I'm going to do, and we're going to have to cut this short because there's so many Texas, we can't get them all. We're going to do wealthy Texas. This is where Elon Musk should relocate now that he's left California. I don't know where he went. Probably where he's got his SpaceX company. But yeah, there's actually a place called Wealthy, California. You think they brag down there about their money? There's a New York, Texas, as we spoke about. That's a real oxymoron. And that is it. So which state were we doing next?
We're going to do Virginia.
Yeah. Who's doing that? I used to, oh, I know, because I got my aligners in. I can't make my lips squeak anymore. I'm not going to take them out. Okay, we're going to go to.
Gracie said, what was that for? And I've been waiting for this one. In Virginia, there is a fart, Virginia.
Yes, and I think you'll be seeing it, hopefully not smelling it soon. But here we go.
Where I live.
Yes.
Okay, Kenneth.
Okay, Grace, this one's yours.
Let Kenneth have this one.
That's a long one.
Tight squeeze.
Tight squeeze. Virginia.
Sounds like being caught between a rock and a hard place, but actually also a name of a movie or even a Disney episode where poor Squeeze initially feels sad about being the smallest tool until he discovers his benefit. Men with a Napoleon complex should regularly watch this.
Watch this, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, tight squeeze between a rock and a hard place. Okay, there's a Dragonville perhaps attempts to keep their criminals away. And here it is, because you asked for it by popular demand. Here it comes. Bam. Oops, there it is. No, doggone it. I can't click the right. There it is. Bart, Virginia. And it wasn't me. I know they say that the skunk smell. Come on. Oh, yeah, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, Grace, because I found that too. She's going onto YouTube and there's like a 1 second, because I also did that search, but I wasn't going to actually do what you did. Okay. Kenny, another one for you.
Goose Pimple Junction, Virginia.
Do you know what a goose pimple is?
Mm-mm.
Grace, what's a goose pimple?
I don't know, honey. I know what a dingleberry is.
No, a goose pimple. It's like when you get cold, that's called, you get goose pimples. You don't know about goose pimple? Where you get these little kind of like ridge. Well, duh.
I've always heard them called goosebumps.
Goosebumps, goose
yeah.
pimple.
You're right. They're the same. Most people call it the other. I'll do this one then. Assawoman, Virginia. Never smile to a woman when saying the city name, or you'll soon have a shiner where somebody socks you in the eye. Don't say Assawoman to a woman. That is naughty. Okay, Kenny, we're going to let you.
We all agree it's goosebumps. So hold on. I want to see now what
in Minnesota we say goose pimples.
Define goose pimples.
Oh wow, really?
Says,
while we're doing that, I'm going to do the next one.
Wait. It's a state of the skin caused by cold, fear, or excitement in which small bumps appear on the surface as the hairs become erect.
Ooh. Speaking of which, the next one is, go ahead, Grace, you do this one.
New erection. Virginia.
Virginia.
Okay, to the hills in the casserole.
Oh, man.
A new one. Yeah, that's what you get when you get too cold. Your hairs get erections, and if you have the blue pill, maybe something else does too. Okay.
New erection. They must have a lot of teenagers there.
Hurt, Virginia, named after Colonel Hurt. But what you will be if you say "assa woman" in mixed company. So don't say "assa woman," or you may get hurt. Maybe that's why they say it. And there's one called Satan's Kingdom. Oh, that's Vermont. I'm sorry. That was the end of our Virginia. So any other states coming up? We must do some more.
Okay. Does anybody have any requests for their state or a state that they like to see?
How about Tennessee?
Tennessee. These, I tell you, these southern states are rich with them. They are thick as thieves. Let's see what we've got in the state of TN. Well, there's one on the border called Bitter End. It's right on the border of North Carolina. Another one is called Nameless. Another one is called Difficult. And here's one that is a little bit longer. I'll pop this one up on the screen.
Wait. Before you do that, I just want to say that going back to Virginia really quick, we missed Kaku, Virginia, which is close to Bumpus, Virginia.
Yeah, there are some Bumpus, like as a Bumpus Hill, I think is why I didn't put Bumpus, Virginia. But good point. And it might be pronounced Bumpus, and some people might want to say Bump-ass, but I think it's Bumpus is the correct pronunciation. But you never know in different states. Like, remember when we went to Galax, I thought it was Galax, like Galaxy.
Oh, that's right, it is Galax.
No, down here in Virginia, we call it Galax. Oh, sorry. So you got those long A's.
Yeah.
Okay. Grace, this is for you.
Three-way Tennessee. Couldn't spell menage a trois. Relax. It can also mean a proper domestic arrangement too. At least that's the French story.
Yeah, it doesn't have to mean that a three-way. It might mean just a domestic arrangement. So there. Okay, and
so Call Me Vi says, why are there so many odd city names in the USA? Are you trying to attract the wrong crowd? But speaking of odd, ironically, there is an odd in, drum roll. Oops, hold on.
Drum roll.
West Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
Virginia.
When West Virginia's got more than a dozen Lulus. There is one more in Tennessee, and then we can go on elsewhere. And it's Yum Yum for the hungry folks. I like that name. Is that a great one? Yum Yum?
I want to live in Yum
I'll bet you, if you don't remember many of the names, you'll remember Yum Yum, Tennessee.
I think it would.
That's a cool name.
I think it would almost make me happy every single time that I wrote a letter to somebody and had to put on there Yum Yum.
Oh.
Yum Yum. I could write that over and over again. Yum Yum.
Oh, here we go. Psst. According to Paula at Call Me Vi, sounds like CA has plenty of interesting names too. Oh, yes, we do.
Here in California.
But one more for Tennessee, and then I'll finish. And that is, I'm thinking of you, Sweet Lips.
Sweet Lips.
Sweet Lips, Tennessee. That's my honey, my sweet lips.
Now, Kenneth, what do you have any in Tennessee that we missed?
To be honest with you, I didn't even know that those even existed in Tennessee.
Yeah, like Defeated Tennessee. I've never heard of Defeated. Difficult Tennessee. Don't know that one.
I'm learning as I go along. I didn't even, some of these city names, I didn't even know those even existed.
Okay, well, we'll try to do California since we're picking on other states. We ought to be picked on our state too. And I guess Call Me Vice is not in Ontario, Canada. Okay, here we go. Here's our first one coming up. Grace, I'm going to let you do this one. It's going to be for banning. Tell us about banning.
Banning California. Michael says apparently there are a lot of Karens living there, banning almost everything.
You know about Karens. They're like Grace would say the hall monitor. They're out there just waiting for any student. I'm going to tell the teacher or the principal on you because, when they grow up, they become Karens, or if they're men, they become Kens, right?
That is actually call me V.
Call me
V, or not Vi, V.
It's not Vi, it's V.
V.
Like the letter V.
Wow.
Okay.
Now that you say that, V, did you know that there was a HBO series called True Blood? And, they always wanted to get the vampire's blood, and they would call it V. Man, I want some V. It was like, it'd make him very strong and have sexy powers, shall we say. Kind of like Dracula would do. But yeah, that's when I think of V. It reminds me of that.
So,
but no, V, that's a nice name.
Karen, what is
my mom's name, by the way, is Delia, but she likes to be called D oftentimes too. Sorry, Grace. Didn't mean to jump over you. Go ahead.
She takes offense to that. Karen says.
Oh. Okay.
Get the button.
Sorry. My bad. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes, Karen. They're just because you have a name that some people call Karens. And by the way, how many of you know why they call it a Karen or a Ken? It's because in that era, when they're now about 45 or 50, there was a ton of people that, their parents, they gave them that name. So that doesn't mean just because you were born in that era that you have a propensity to be, like I like to say, whenever you point one finger, three more are pointing back at you. And I'm sure, Karen, you do not do that. So my apologies.
And I learned something new, that V is French for life. I like that. I'll have to tell that to your mom.
Yeah.
VV, like life.
VV. Mm-hmm.
Michael's mom, her family came from Quebec, and they are complete French. And when she was growing up in Minnesota, her family spoke French and some English. So now she's 94 and she remembers some French. She doesn't speak it as much as she used to. No. So I'm going to have to tell her.
Some words you just don't forget. Yeah.
B.
Speaking of names, I mean, remember when Corona used to be a great beer? It was kind of delicious. And no, it's a shame now that people think about, the COVID, the coronavirus. I better not drink that beer. I might get some virus. No, you're not going to, but I'm sure that really hurt their sales, doggone it.
Oh, that's true. Well,
so it's,
there is something in the water.
Well, I got to say, and I don't know if you've ever had one and you go and you tip it up and you put it back down. It's got these big, huge bubbles. And it's did they not wash all the soap out? I'm sure it's not, but I've never had a beer before and they use glass bottles. And when you put it down, it's it's almost kind of a cool thing because when we were kids, we all liked bubbles, didn't we?
I still do.
Okay. Well, Grace, I know you had complimented this one. So if you haven't popped it up on the screen yet, it has to do with a name of a mayor in Marin County that Grace is going to get to. And here's one of our cities. Go ahead, Grace.
Well, there's two apparently. There's Dogtown, California, that's up in somewhere near the gold country. But the one that I'm more familiar with is in Marin County. And it's actually more of an unincorporated area. And a dog was actually elected as acting mayor for that city or that town or that township.
Pretty cool name, Dogtown.
Dogtown.
Speaking of gold country, here's one that has a kind of an interesting history. It's not dirty. You want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Eureka, California. That's up near the Oregon border, up there in Gracie's territory. And it means I'm rich. And then the early settlers would say, at least for a few months that was, but then it was admitted to the Union. And when gold was discovered at Sutter's Mill, it's like, oh, we think we want that for a state because we need the money because when we go to wars, well, government is always looking for money. So, and then of course the taxes came to California. And plus it's being the only city in the United States where the city seal was stolen or borrowed from, and our state seal is the same as the city seal of Eureka. So yeah, sometimes when you do something well, then somebody will say, oh, I like that. Eureka. Exactly. But one thing you probably didn't know, it's not one of our cities, is Alcatraz. And, you think, oh yeah, okay, Alcatraz, that's where they had the federal penitentiary, which is true. But in the Confederate War, the Civil War, is they were afraid some of the parts of California would want to secede and maybe go to the South because, a lot of people moved out here. They moved west to get away from all the taxations, like people go to Alaska, and they were afraid they would secede. So that was what Alcatraz originally was for. It was a spot to have prisoners. So that and a dime will get you a cup of coffee. Oh, no, that's right. It costs more than a dime for coffee these days, doesn't it? So anyway, that's a story about Eureka. Now, this is kind of an odd one I put together, but I'm going to give it a go. I don't know why I put it in there, but Grace, you want to try this one? 29 Palms?
29 Palms, California. Did one of the 15 soldiers lose a hand? Nope, they love their palm trees. However,
yes, I know where you're going on this one. Go for it.
When we went to the Palm Springs area, and there were so many different palm trees, when we're traveling and Michael's driving and I'm just like looking out the window, my mind starts racing and I start thinking all these different things. And I turn to Google, which always leads me to Wikipedia. And in California, there's only one indigenous palm tree. All the rest have actually been imported. So even though we have a lot of palm trees, they are not indigenous to us.
That is really interesting. Yeah, they have just two in California. Is that what you said? Two different varieties?
Two indigenous.
And what is it what makes, and down in Palm Springs, what makes palm trees so good? Why are they liked so much?
Well, they actually take a lot of water, don't they? Or don't they?
Not too bad. No, not too bad. But they are because they have dates, honey.
A date in California?
You get all these dates in the palm tree. Yeah. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I grew up in Redding, California, up by the Oregon border, don't you know? And there was two cities. One was called Igo, and the other was called Ono. I swear that were the names of the cities. They're small cities. But yeah, Igo and Ono. I'll bet you if you ever get up to the Redding area, you want to check it out. You'll say, what were they thinking of? And down in Southern California, here's one for you, Kenny. Coming up, Tarzana. Tell us about Tarzana.
Tarzana, California. If you're really old, you'll remember me, Tarzan Eugene. Yes, indeed, named after the Tarzan TV character.
Have you ever heard of Tarzan?
I've heard of Tarzan, but I did not know that was even a city in California.
Yeah, they've named a city after it. Grace, do you remember Tarzan? Were you old enough?
Oh,
you do. Oh, oh.
Yeah. Oh, Michael, that reminds me.
You know why Tarzan? Wait a second. Do you know why Tarzan yelled?
My turn, Michael.
Okay, sorry.
I remember when you were a boy, you had a Tarzan moment, didn't you? Oh, you can't do that. I'm not control.
Oh, yeah. I was in second grade, and Mrs. Putnam was my teacher in Tinta, Minnesota, don't you know? And she went out of the classroom, and I used to love Superman as a boy. And gosh, TVs were just brand new back in those days. So I get up on the radiator. In Minnesota, it gets cold in the winter. And you have these radiators that radiate heat. And I jumped up. I could put my chair by it. I jumped up on the radiator. So I'm about like 3 feet off the ground. And I about 3 feet high. So I grab the mini blinds. Well, they're Venetian blinds. I grab the Venetian blinds. I'm going to like swing across the room and do a cross between a Tarzan and Superman. And when I went across, well, my 50-pound body was more than the weight would hold from, I had such a good plan. But here's the rest of the story. So my father was the principal and superintendent of Tinta. And if you ever heard of double jeopardy, I discovered it at a young age. I got a licking. My dad took me down to the library, which is down in the basement. And then when I got home, well, it was not a good day. So you're supposed to have a halo when your parents are in positions of authority. So anyhow, I'm sorry you brought that up. I got in trouble. I deserved it. But what didn't kill me only made me stronger. And so, Kenny, yes, I was in trouble. Try this one, Kenny. We're going to go to Weed, California. Up there north of Redding, actually. Weed,
California, and New
Mexico, Arkansas, and Kentucky.
California, of course. Other states envious or dudes moved there.
Yeah. So, weed, it's like, okay. But yeah, they copied it in all these other states too. It's like, yeah, sometimes it's interesting how one city will start it. One thing I've learned that I didn't know until I did this study is that you're only allowed to have one city name for like zip codes, but that doesn't make sense. There's Columbus in a lot of different states and Springfield and things. And so, but yeah, in some cases where some of these city names we'll see, they actually had to be changed to something quite whimsical because the postmaster said, you can't have that name. Somebody else has got that name. I think they're the Kens. They're not Karens. They're the Kens. So I hope there's no Karens out there. And Grace, you know about this one, I think, don't you?
What are you trying to say,
Poverty
Michael?
bar? No, I thought you said that was over there by where you used to live. I'm sorry. I don't mean anything bad.
Bar.
Oh, Mormon bar. Okay. Yeah, this is a pot. What is a bar?
Well, generally it's where water is, and it creates a little bit of an island, from the stream or the river.
Right.
How many states have a city called Paris?
And here we see Lance says, "Call me V." LOL. V. Okay, Grace.
Kim. Paradise.
You get to do this one.
Paradise, California. It was a great retirement area. In fact, one known little tidbit about Paradise, California is there were so many retirees up there that on Tuesday and Thursday, they let the elderly who no longer had licenses drive. So everybody else living in that area knew to stay off the road on Tuesday and Thursday. But
that's true.
The retirement community, unfortunately, as we may have heard, is burned down in 2018. And when the president came, he actually made the error of calling it Pleasure. But there is a Pleasureville, Kentucky.
Yeah, so there is a Pleasure. So maybe it was another one he got kind of confused. But yeah, that was a horrific fire. But I think they've finally started to rebuild. And on a nicer note, Kenny, here's one with a little double entendre. So
Woody, California.
Woody, California.
Every man's dream paradise.
Yeah, you like paradise. If that might be, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and if you've got a Woody, that might be a good thing in California.
Would you like to forever
Grace,
live in Woody?
Forever? Not forever. Too much of a good thing. Okay, Grace, this one's for you. If it comes up, there it is.
Oops. Okay, so
who did that? I wonder.
California. As we know, I guess you would say OJ if you didn't know that the J was pronounced as an H, kind of like if you're going to San Jose, but it's San Jose. But I do have another story about Ojai because when I was a little girl, like Michael swung on the curtains, we would play house, and we never called house. We always called it oh hi, because to start off playing house, we had like a 3-bedroom house, and we would each take a room and we knock on the door, and you had to start the game by opening the door and saying, oh hi.
Oh hi.
So we didn't play
I
house.
like
We
that.
played oh hi.
Oh hi. Is there a song every time I say hello, you say goodbye?
You say goodbye, and I say
and
hello.
I say
No,
hello.
you say hello,
Hello, hello.
and I say goodbye.
That's right.
Bye.
There you got it.
Each state that has Paris in is a Paris city limit.
Can y'all name?
Oh, wait, go put that one. Go ahead.
Can y'all name 8 states that have Paris city limits?
Have what?
Wow, I couldn't do 8.
Paris.
Not 8.
Name their state that have the word Paris.
Oh, okay.
Wow. But I want.
I think there's a Paris.
Well, hold on.
California.
Time out. I got something important. Just a second. And married to a narc for 30 years. I'm very forgiving. And this is. I hope I never need to see this in a street, but this is my PSA for today. Naloxone. And, if somebody had did you know there's like 100,000 people this last year? It went from 40,000 deaths from fentanyl up to 100,000 because, the opium and the heroin. So I thought, I think these are about $8 or $9. You can pay twice as much easily if you get a nice pouch, but this is fine. And it has enough for, I think, a couple doses if somebody you come across, or maybe you yourself, somehow somebody mysteriously gave you something. You don't want to die quickly or slowly. So it's an antidote. And I just got that the other day for my emergency kit. So anyway, when you said narc, I just thought that's my public service announcement.
I do not know what a narcissist has to do with overdosing, but
I didn't think it said narc. NARC, like stands for narcotic.
It's an acronym for narcissist. So moving on.
Oh, excuse me. Over my head. Okay, well, moving right along. Let's see what else I have here.
Tracy is here. Hi, Tracy. She says,
"Hey, Tracy, Ocean Fire.
Were medications we use, medications we could see a change right away. It saves
lives. Yeah, it does. Because you maybe only have a minute or two when a person gets way too much. So thank you for that. And yeah, you can get it at any drugstore. Things. It's not any special deal. So this one is, I'm going to try it. I know this is going to be tough. FUCHS in California. The correct pronunciation, it's a German word, is Fuchs or Fuchs, not what you might think it is. It doesn't have a K in it. And it sounds close to that dirty word. So get over it. Fuchs. And if you ever slip when you hurt yourself and you say that expletive mistakenly, you can just say right after it, you go, beep, California. And you said, I'm saying the word Puk, which actually is a German word meaning fox. So there, don't think that I said a dirty word. So Fuchs. Phew.
Hold on, I'm going to scrolling. Wait.
Okay.
So.
Okay, thank you, honey.
Okay. Tim says, what is Michael on?
Yeah, I probably need some of that medication myself there, Tim. And Grace will tell you. No, she won't. I haven't got enough sleep. I'm kind of giddy. So here's one. Grace will remember that we actually, where were we at when we, what am I doing? I'm in the wrong one. Oh, there it is. You remember when we went by this city, by Soda Springs?
You mean by ZZYZX?
Yes.
ZZYZX.
ZZX is how it's pronounced. ZZX.
I would say ZZYZX.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us the rest of the story.
How do you say it's pronounced?
Look, it says right there on the screen.
Zyzex. Do you know that my tongue is
Zyzex.
actually tingling from that?
Ooh, I'll give you a glass of wine very soon. We got 5 minutes left.
Okay. Yay. Formerly Soda Springs, guaranteed the last entry in any city index. Shyster Curtis Springfield faked a mineral claim for 30 years to run a resort with the last word in health. Next line, please, Michael.
With the last word in health, but eventually ended up in jail. And he was dubbed by the American Medical Association as the King of Quacks. Ironically, there was a movie called Zizek, same name, also gained notoriety. And it was the only movie grossing only $30 at the box office on his opening run of sales. So, whatever you do, don't use something at the end of the alphabet. It's doomed to put you in jail or not make any money. Okay, Grace, tell us about Colma.
Wait, not yet. Tim says, just for a giggle, my middle name is... Go ahead, Michael. You
Giggle.
Huh?
Oh, okay. Where is that? Is it on the screen? Oh, my middle name is, Fook. Fook. P-H-U-C. Fook.
Fook.
Fook. Did I say that right, Tim? Fook? Kind of close to that other one, isn't it? F-U-C-H-S. I hope I did that right.
Well, Grace is going to remember that, Tim.
Okay. Here, Grace is going to do this one because this is right next to where she used to live in California. Tell us about Colma.
In Colma. Okay. Oh, thank you, Red. That is sweet. Hold on. I got something for you here. I just got to find it.
Super chat.
Michael,
thank you, Red.
Away. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very much. We'll buy you a drink the next time we see you.
All righty. So you want me to do Colma? Let's go back to
Colma. There it is. I got it.
City of Souls, 2 million dead, 1.2 breathing residents. So
1.2 thousand
is adjacent to San Francisco, Daly City, where I grew up. And at one point, when San Francisco first was being populated in the gold rush days, they had cemeteries actually in the city of San Francisco. But so much of it is built on landfill, and so water started seeping up and everything else. So all the bodies were moved to Colma. So sometimes you'll hear a cemetery in San Francisco like Cypress Hill. It's not San Francisco. It's always going to be Colma. City of the Dead.
Very nice. Oh, look at this. Red is saying she's going to be in California in March. It reminds me in the spring is that there was a movie. It was called Manions in the Spring. It was a French movie. It was quite a story. Oh, thank you, Tim. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Super chat. Super chat. That's cute.
You like
but anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. I must be to the end of the line for me.
You are at the
Thank you, Sue, for being a moderator. And for Tim, thank you for being here also.
And Kenneth, he was still moderating. He's on it.
Yeah.
He is. Okay. I'm trying to think if I had anything else. Oh, here's one. Grace, I have a tender knob.
Okay, well,
Tender Knob, California. In San Francisco area, you'd think it has a nasty connotation, but actually, it's the area between the Tenderloin and Nob Hill. But like the rest of San Francisco, there's still, Grace, there's still plenty of nasty that goes around.
Oh, yeah. In San Francisco, There's a lot of nasty. We'll talk about that on another show. So
that's another show. We are. Let me just see if I have any others in California. I think we're through Rough and Ready, Nevada City, which is actually in California, And those were the last. That was a big one. So we've got lots of other states for other times.
Okay.
So Kenny, do you have anything else you want to share before we start to wrap up?
Thanks for having me on. And those were some interesting cities.
Definitely
when you travel, right. Chicken soup, John is telling us about.
We'll do Connecticut next time.
Connecticut next time, and others too. So we've got more coming for you. Although, we'd love to have more time to spend with you all, but I think I got 500 plus, and we'll have to have another video that we'll actually do a California travel video rather than a live stream. But we'll kind of get these from time to time. And so, Grace, what's going on with you this coming week?
Okay, well, I just
inquiring minds must know.
Michael, if I can finish my sentence, please. Okay. So, as we said earlier, I do not believe that Gina is going to be going on. Oh, Tracy, thank you so much. You're a sweetheart. Thank you for the full screen, Michael. So, it doesn't look like Gina's going to be going on, but Paula will be going on in about 1 hour from now. So,
yes.
Make sure to check her out and send our love. And till we see you next week, anybody have anything else to add to that?
I think everything's cool. Grace has got most of her Christmas shopping done, and I've got most of my shopping for her done. But I got all the kids, grandkids, all this kind of stuff. But how about you, Kenny? Are you going to do anything for the holidays?
Well, I'll be going over to my uncle's house for Christmas, and I'll actually have some family coming in from California.
Oh, nice.
What part of the state?
They're in Pleasant Hill and San Diego.
Ooh, nice cities. In fact, San Diego is probably one of the top places in California for retirement. I mean, with the great weather, just the right spot from the ocean. And I'm sure they'll have some good stories to share. And thank you all so much for being here. I'd like to spend more time, but Grace gives me the hook, and I'm sure. What are we going to eat tonight, honey? What you got cooking? We got bison?
Hamburgers.
Okay. So tonight's going to be a burger night. So as always, are you ready to sing the closing song, honey?
What about you, Kenneth? You going to sing with us? Happy trails?
Happy trails to you. 1, 2, 3. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Very nice. I wish I knew more of the song, but that's it. And you're probably glad that's all I know. So thank you all for being here, everybody. I've enjoyed your company. Aloha and peace out until we meet again, right? Thanks again, Kenny. Good to have you here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye all.